Boom. Welcome to a special mortgage coach. I mean, we're not going to do this weekly all year long, but the original commitment was for the month of August. We're going to do this, TCA Tuesday, 11 o'clock Pacific. We're going to do this TCA Day accountability meeting. I did the first one as the head coach, and we kind of just figured out what we were doing. Jeremy Forcier did number 2 and number 3. This is the fourth. So this is the fourth time we have done this. I am committed to making sure that we've got some badass coaches and some killer mortgage coaches on this through the month of September. I don't know how often we're going to be able to get Jeremy. Hopefully we get him a lot as a coach. We've got a couple top producing loan officers that are committed to this. And part of being committed to it is they're going to tell us what the results are. They have the goal of doing a TCA a day. And they're going to tell us what their problems, like what's working, what's your problem, and then we're giving coaching advice. So Jeremy, before we get some results from these two, anything you want to say, because you've been running the past 2 calls, any framing you have?
Yeah, biggest frame I have is that don't underestimate the marathon. Like I see people fall off the map as we get further and further down the road. With my own tracking of what I was doing with my individuals, like it's exciting at first. You're like, I'm going to do this. It's just like anything. And then you start to lose steam. So just chunking it down and making sure that we're super specific about what we're doing every single day and making it easy on yourself is critical to success, rather than starting out in a sprint and then being done like after the first 5 days. But the numbers have been just incredible. Like I can't wait to share some of the numbers with you guys. My contest is done personally within my group because we started a week earlier. So I have all the results, which is just phenomenal. Super, super proud of the group. And ultimately they're the ones who are reaping the benefits from it.
So Jeremy, I'm going to get the results from everybody, go through this real quick. And if you could get ready to give the lowdown on that.
Sure.
But I do want to call out, guys, here we are on week 4, and we have more coaches than we have players. So, and that, that is also knowing that we're going to keep this going for about 5 more weeks. If you want to be a player on the team, it means you've done over 20 million in volume, because we're looking for people that know how to do loans, that are trying to get to the next level. We're not looking for people that are doing over 100 million. We're looking for folks that maybe you want to go from 20 to 50, 50 to 70, 70 to 100. And the only other criteria is you're a mortgage coach. You're willing to do a TCA a day. Doesn't mean you do it 5 days a week, but you're trying to do it 5 days a week. So that's the only criteria. Private message me, put it in comments. If you want to get invited to this Zoom meeting so that there's more players and coaches, let us know. So let's go to Walt first. Walt was the mortgage coach that gave me this idea. So Walt, what are results since last week?
So last week I received 21 leads, and so out of those 21 leads, I did 26 TCAs. I'm not going to have Jeremy call me out for not doing a TCA a day. Love you, man.
Good job.
So did 26 TCAs, and yes, I did a TCA every single day. I had 3 credit pulls, 2 pre-apps, so 2 pre-quals, 2 applications, and 1 closed loan for last week.
Jeremy, anything you want to call out on that, or questions you want to drill down on?
Yeah, so 21 leads, 2 pre-apps.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
So
Why so low?
The 21 leads. So I am mapping, or I am following Zillow leads, internet leads, and regular. So my regular leads were 5 leads.
Okay.
So I had 5 regular leads from referral sources. And then the rest, the 16 were Zillow leads. I do want to share a success that I had with the Zillow leads. One thing I've started doing is I'll do a TCA for the Zillow lead that is looking for information on a specific property. And out of that, I had 2 people that have came back. We've got 1 that's currently approved shopping for a property now, and we've got 1 that is in the process of getting approved. So, and that's specifically from that. The only thing that I've changed is doing a TCA for those Zillow leads. So that's been helpful for me.
Well, my comment is, first of all, did you talk to all 15 of those Zillow leads? Because going from memory, Jeremy said, don't count it as a lead unless you talk to it. So 5 referrals.
Well, it's still a lead, so.
Well, no, but okay,
And-
we only want to know, how many of
Yeah.
those did you make contact with?
So no, I didn't make contact with every single one. I sent a TCA to every single one, yes.
How many did you make contact with?
I don't have
Ballpark
that
it.
number. I don't
Okay.
have that number.
So guys, as we do this challenge going forward, and a reminder to you, Walt, if it's a referral from a current client, a past client, a realtor, a CPA or financial planner lead, if you're using Zillow or any other type of low conversion lead source, no problem, but only count it as a lead if you made contact with them, if they had an exchange. And by the way, Walt, I mean, there's some good strategic reasons that I recommend that's how you measure things in your own practice. And you clearly are trying to do a hybrid practice of local referrals and consumer direct. But guys, there's also some good, if you want to benchmark here in Mortgage Coach, that's how we're going to benchmark. So if you could measure it that way. Jeremy, anything else you want to unpack or ask Walt before we go to the next person?
No, I mean, I think that you kind of unpacked what, I'm always going to go to is that question for context, just so I know, Walt. So these Zillow leads, are they co-branded with someone else?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So I would never count those unless it was introduced to me by the realtor, right? Which is what Dave was saying, right? Like if it's co-brand, like, because if you were saying, no, these are long form Zillow leads that I'm just buying and they're coming in, that's a little bit different. That's a really consumer direct model. But when you're co-branding with the realtor, who do they really want to talk to?
Well, they want to talk to the realtor.
Yes.
But what I've found is it's been very interesting as I've done the TCA for them. So I've reached out before in the past and I've never had really a success history. Literally, I've got it to where out of 16 leads, I've got 2 loans. I've never had that success rate ever with Zillow for me calling, and the realtor calling. Most of them go someplace else or do whatever. But the one thing that I changed on over the last 2 weeks has been starting to do TCAs for those. And I do them within 24 to 48 hours of getting that lead coming in. And I've found, literally, I'm starting to have more communication, not on the phone, but more communication via email or text. And I'm doing a TCA, I'm doing a video. So I send a video to them along with the TCA. And out of that, 2 transactions, which to me, that was pretty powerful. It took me literally.
And I agree, by the way, that is.
Yeah, let's not confuse a couple things real quick. Let's not confuse that, like, that's way better than not doing that.
Sure.
Okay. Like no doubt. But let me ask you this. Would you rather be at 54.7% conversion?
Oh, sure.
That's where you have to spend your time, is like less time on those leads, more time on getting 10 referrals a week rather than 5 from database referral partners, things like that. Now, if you still have time, I think that's a great strategy, by the way, like making that, sending it out to them, getting people engaged, etc. Don't think that that's a bad strategy. As a matter of fact, you could even set up strategy templates in your Mortgage Coach total cost of, like, here is a 300,000 purchase strategy template, 400, 500, 600. That way, when people come in, it's just, you can automatically send it out, right? Based on where they're in that purchase price range. You don't have to redo any of the work or spend time and recreate it on a cold lead. I don't think it's a bad strategy, but year to date, I'm at 54.7% conversion from either transaction or pre-approved from referral lead, right? And that's where I want all of you to get to as well, because that's really, really high versus focusing on a sub 15% potential conversion. Does that make sense?
Correct. And I track them, just to let you know, I do track them differently. So I track them on the lead tracker as well. And I track my leads, and then I track my Zillow leads. So I do know the numbers between the Zillow leads and the actual leads.
Yeah,
Is-
I know, dummy. So what is it? What's the good leads? Like, what are we talking about here? So what's your conversion rate on, is it better than the Zillow leads?
64.2%.
Okay, so don't spend time on those crappy people. Like, that's all that we're saying, right? Is that like, don't spend time on people that are a waste of time and that it makes you feel important because you have something to do. Okay, that it's not good. And listen, I can speak to this because I'm the king of wanting to feel important in the past. Okay, and so you want to make sure that you're focusing on the right stuff. I think that it's not bad. No one's confused that you're tracking both. I think that's great. But I think that you tracking both should really tell your story of like where you need to spend more time. Like, I think that we have so many like blaring, blinking lights that we don't pay attention to, softballs that are thrown around us at all times of like, I'm converting at 64% over here. Like, why wouldn't you just get double the amount that you can convert 64% at? Why not teach the agents how to convert their leads if they want to spend on Dillo and Zillow and Twillo and all that stuff, and teach them on how they can convert them more? I want you to be efficient with your time, right? And I want you to be successful with the people you're interacting with. So my big takeaway with the numbers that you shared was great strategy, better than doing nothing, 100%, right? But why aren't we focusing on how to create more warm, less cold, more warm opportunities for TCAs? I think that's where you should spend most of your time.
Agreed. And just one last thing on that is, understand I'm not doing this during the hours that I would normally be reaching out to realtors and that I would be increasing business in that sense. This was, I mean, literally an hour and a half on a Saturday.
Oh, so you just took it away from your family instead. That makes a lot of sense to me.
No, that's, so I'm going to push back on that. So when your family gives you permission and they're doing other things, that's okay. In my opinion, that's okay. So
in my opinion, I convert at 54%. Okay, and I want you to convert at that high level. I don't think you should be spending any time on these leads.
perfect.
Yeah,
That's
and again, if you're getting the leads to support a realtor relationship, consider, having a team member to support that. Like, if you're committed to a consumer direct hybrid strategy, which we could debate, we could spend the rest of the calls like, is that a good idea or not? But let's just say you got a consumer direct strategy. Try to have team around that, so you're doing the highest value things you can do. I think at the end of the day, that's Jeremy's point. What is the absolute highest value thing you can do on 7 days a week? But anyways, I want to make sure we have time to get Tammy and have more conversations. So we got your stats and your facts. Thank you, Walt, and always Walt, dude. Thanks for being so humble and being so open and being so transparent. Some of the biggest takeaways from these calls have come because you did that. So thank you for always being that dude. Tammy, hot seat. What are your stats?
So last week I did 11 leads. I did 3 pre-approvals. I did 5 TCAs, and I put in 10 deals. It was a good week.
Dang.
I was making up for vacation though, because the week before wasn't so good.
The vacation effect.
How many
How many
closings last
TCAs
week,
did you
Tammy?
say? How many TCAs?
I did 5.
5. All right.
How many
Jeremy.
credit pulls?
Credit pulls, I did. Oh, see, I knew she was going to get all my.
Yeah, come on. That's one of our key stats around here.
Credit pulls are, let me see, I got it right here. We had 4 credit pulls.
4
So
credit
I had
pulls.
3 pre-approvals, 4 credit pulls.
And any price exceptions?
No.
Boom. Hey, Walt, did you have any price exceptions last week?
No,
Yeah.
How many
Ba-boom.
closings last week, Tammy?
Oh, closings last week.
Well, that question too. Do you know how many closings you had last week?
You had 1.
yeah, I had one last
we
week,
had 3.
5 the week before.
5 the week before.
It's right here. I had so far 3 for the month, and then last week we had 1, 2. We had 3 more, so I've done a 6 for the month.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for that transparency. Remember, guys, we're looking to have more players than coaches. So if you want to jump in this hot seat, have some, Jeremy Forcier, some experienced coaches, ask you questions, put you on hot seat, get better, get stronger, get faster, close more loans. We're looking for a few more players. Private message me down below and we'll add you to this invite. Jeremy, coaching thoughts.
Coaching thoughts for me, number one, 10 deals, ridiculous, put together. Question though, if you put 10 deals in, how come only 5 TCAs? Like, why doesn't every deal get one?
Well, I think, I was trying to look at that myself. These are the deals that went in last week were TCAs that I've done before. So they were deals that I've worked on before. Of the 5 that I did last week, 2 of them went in. So 2 of them were pre-approvals. 1 was a refi. Sorry, 3 were refis. No, so I did 3. So 1, 2, 3. So I have 6. I'm sorry, I lost count. 6 total TCAs. 3 of them were pre-approvals that weren't anything yet, that are just still looking. 3 of them were refis. Of those 3 refis, 2 of them were submitted.
Cool. So, but you
1 is
had,
closed.
but you had 10 deals, right?
Yeah,
that you
10 deals. So they were purchase deals that I've been working on.
Yeah, they closed. Those were closings, Jeremy. So
Oh, I thought they were
TCAs
contracts.
No
30
deals,
days
no,
ago.
these
Got
were
it.
10 loans that went, these were 10 deals that went in to underwriting.
Well, then I
So-
have no questions. You
yeah,
crushed.
11 leads, 5 TCAs. Some of those 11 leads had a TCA in the past.
Correct.
So it sounds like she's playing the TCA day game. It sounds like you're compliant to the sales process that we're all aligned around.
I surrender. Yes.
Good job on that. Anything else there, Jeremy?
No, I mean, those numbers are ridiculous, especially with no pricing exceptions, Walt, for you as well. What do you think contributes to that the most? Is it the TCA?
I think for me,
The
at least,
couple that I've won, oh, sorry, go ahead, Walt.
no, go ahead, Tammy.
The one that I won, I was talked about this a little bit yesterday. The one that I won, she was rate shopping me to some internet person. And I was able to show her the reinvestment strategy. That was strictly because of the TCA. I wouldn't even have really thought about that except for the TCA. And then she saw the value in it because I knew her story. She's planning on buying another house. I was able to, well, if you're going to be buying another house and your intention is to rent this at some point, do you really want to do this mortgage? Because look at the payment versus this payment. This payment is going to definitely have an impact on you buying the next house. Plus rentals on this property are only X, and you should go with this. While you're looking for a house, you can make this extra payment on this loan. And then I just remembered, Dave, I need to send you that TCA. And then need to, you want to make sure you're going to be able to offset the rent with this new purchase price.
Love it. Love it. Excellent. So no questions. Absolutely crushed it. What I would love to, the questions I do want to get into in a little bit after we run through this is I would love to know what the new challenges are, because I think that new challenges come up and I want to hear success stories and challenges. So definitely want to hear the new challenges that you're facing.
Okay. Well, my biggest challenge I'm having right now is not so much around this, because I feel like I have the coaches to help me get this all organized. My biggest challenge now is I've done this CMA a day challenge with my agents.
Yeah.
I've got 143 agents now who are, it's about 30% that are actually participating, but I have 143 agents, 143 emails, and I feel like I don't know how to take this to the next level. I feel like I've got all the ingredients on the table and I don't know how to cook it, is where I kind of am now. So I don't know how to build on what I've created here, because I kind of didn't expect this. So now I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make it work for me.
So let's do this. Let's make that the first topic. We're
Yep.
gonna, within 9 minutes, we're gonna kind of finish setting the table and then we'll do topics and we'll make that a topic. I did ask Scott Nicholson to come to this call. One, I didn't know if Jeremy was coming, so I didn't know how many coaches we'd have, and I wanted some backup.
Scotty.
But Scotty has a really good one to many, how to take a TCA and do a one to many. So I want to have him share that in a few minutes. Jeremy, let's put you on the hot seat real quick.
Let's do it.
What are your team's stats? Give us the run through on what you want to share there from a team stat perspective.
Yeah, you got it. So over the 30-day TCA a day challenge, I actually only had one person that completed full 31 TCAs. Okay, so that actually did it, right? Every single day. Now, Peter Torres, congratulations. So he won the trip to Vegas. Excellent job. He did 31. He got his 100 TCA badge during this process. So this isn't, which is what I thought was very interesting, Dave, in the group, is that the LO that's on my, part of my team that won wasn't even using it daily, regularly, like up to this point. So there's other people on here that like are belts. I forget all the colors, red, black, like they're high level. They've been using it for a really long time and he still beat them. Right. So you don't have to be like some crazy expert in order to execute this strategy was my biggest takeaway, is that no matter where you're at, if you just do it, you're going to have success. His lock rate month over month from doing this was up 142%. Okay, 142%. Yeah, his lock rate month over month, like absolutely crushed it from doing this. So he won. I thought that was great. I had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way tie for second, all at 23. Okay, all at 23. So that means that basically they did it for 3 out of the 4 weeks, right? That's the way I look at it, right? They did it like 3 out of the 4 weeks where they missed days or they just didn't get to it or they didn't send it to me or whatever it may be. And then I had another 4 people that came in at 22. And then everyone else after that, which I thought was very interesting, came in at 0. Which means that they all said, yeah, I want to do this. I want to change my life. I want some accountability. Yep, I'm all in, which is what the emails all say, by the way. In, all in. See you in Vegas, talking trash, right? Like I'm gonna win, and then literally never sent anything in, right? Like that's where we have to like check ourselves oftentimes, right? Gut check. Like, am I constantly just saying yes, 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 but am I actually putting it into a process that I can execute, that's repeatable, that I can do every single day, that is going to make a difference? And am I asking for help? Okay, so I find that all of these people that said, yes, I'm all in, but then didn't send in everything ever, are also the same individuals that don't ask for help until the house is engulfed in flames. Okay, and so these are just psychological takeaways that I looked at when I was looking over the numbers, which I thought was very, very interesting, is that you guys, we all have to ask for help. I ask for help all the time. It's one of my superpowers. Like I literally ask for help all the time when I need help with something, can't see the forest through the trees. Like I'm always, always, always asking for help of other individuals. So make sure that you're asking for help if you're struggling with something, whether it's on here on this call, whether it's a DM, whether it's an email, text, whatever it is, manager, make sure that you're asking for help if you're struggling with how can I execute this, right? Because we're usually overcomplicating it. Now, some other really cool stats from this too is that the average concession on the people that participated was down 68%. Okay, by the end of the down 68% by the end of the 4.2 weeks. Okay, whatever that is, 68% average concession. Remember, that's not basis points. I said that on the last one. It's not like 68 basis points, but it's 68%. Okay, the people that said that they wanted to participate but didn't send anything in, guess how much their concession amounts were down?
None.
Yeah, like 4. And that's just because the market, right? What happened in the market over the last month, right? Where it gave us more opportunity. So none. So all of this points to that actually doing this discipline should be a non-negotiable in all of our businesses, right? Because it creates more profitability, it creates more loans, higher conversion, and just an easier process to follow. So those were some of the stats from the team. My personal stats, I'm pulling it up right here. So in the last week, I had 37 leads. I've done 27 TCAs. I closed 12 loans, and my credit pull rate was at 63%. So whatever that is, 63%, 37. It was somewhere around like 26 or something like that. Okay, so pretty high.
Wow. Well, first of all, dude, thank you for your transparency. As a coach and a leader, knowing what you know now, is there a way that you would have communicated this challenge that would have gotten more adoption? Because you've got like 54 loan officers in your region.
Mhm.
It looks like, some of them didn't even want to play the game.
Yep.
Half of them, a lot of them wanted to play the game.
Yep.
And 20% of them played the game, and one of them played to win. And
Yep.
by the way, Peter Torres, you are now a brown belt. He went from like, I don't know, 60 some TCAs to now he's at 104.
Yep.
And that's on my back end. Peter, you're probably a few higher than that because I'm probably 48 hours background. But Peter, if you're listening to this, dude, you're the man. And also, Peter, I want to track your success. Would love to interview you at black belt status. So I don't know what your production is, but I know you're on Jeremy's team and I know you won this contest. So one free coaching session with me, this month, next month, I'll send you a link, to schedule a meeting with me. And I want to help you get to whatever that next level is. So, but Jeremy, anything you would do differently or advice you'd have to managers that want to do this? Thoughts?
Yeah. Differently, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. If there's something I would do differently based on responses back, and I want to use Peter Torres again as an example here. Okay. Is that, and by the way, the 3 guys that were supposed to be on this call, 2 had babies in the last week, they're out, and 1 is MIA. So I'm sorry that they couldn't be on. Now, Peter won, not just because he took it seriously and did the daily discipline, but most other people that participated in this, when they were sending me their TCAs, it was just a list, right? Hey, here's my list of TCAs, right? Let me read you some of Peter's when he would email me the TCAs. Hey, thank you so much for challenging us. I got my 100 TCA badge this week. I got better and better at it from all the reps I did. I will continue to do them every single time there is an opportunity. That was one of his feedback pieces. Another was, had a great time at the event. Go Giants. Here's all my links. Another thing that he sent. I'm at an event and having a blast, right? I hope that you're having a great weekend. Here are my TCAs. Here's another one. He said, hey, I had to catch up with TCAs today because we moved into our new office. Got the video up and running today as we're getting to set up the last 2 days. Had a great time with my son last week. I paid for a message wishing him happy birthday on the huge board in center field. Too bad the Giants lost the game. I always look forward to hearing Tony Bennett sing after every win. How do you think about those trades today? I hope that I'm in the running to win. Thanks again for all the challenge and the support. I love this. My point is that this guy was fully engaged. And he was giving, he was reflecting, and he was giving feedback, right, constantly. So to do something consistently all the time and to get better at it, it doesn't take just doing it. Like oftentimes, I think Tim Grover said this in the book Winning, and if he didn't, I can't remember, so I'm going to give him credit, right? He said something like, I hate people that say that showing up is half the battle. Showing up means nothing. Right? Showing up means nothing. Like actually doing something, like when you show up, is what means something. Like just showing up is jack. That's something that we tell ourselves. Like if I just show up in the office and sit here, I'm magically going to get loans, right? It doesn't do anything for you. So he didn't just show up, right? He didn't just show up and say, hey, I'm going to open up my Edge report. I'm going to do a TCA. He was doing it. He was excited about it, and he wanted to win. Like it's important to be have high energy and positive energy when you're doing stuff, especially when you're going to create a new habit. And I couldn't be more proud of him for accomplishing that in such a short period of time. He absolutely crushed it.
Right on. Well, good things happen to good people, and you can be not a good person last week, You can be not a good person yesterday. Guys, every day, every hour is a new hour to get on track and find the way. And we're doing this TCA Day Challenge now for another month. Jeremy, are you going to keep it going? Are you going to do a version 2? I know you said something about
I'm doing 2.0. Yeah.
what's 2.0? Describe 2.0 real quick.
Yep. So 2.0 to me is to continue doing a TCA a day. But you have to do a minimum of 1 per week of a one-to-many strategy. Okay,
Ooh.
of a one-to-many strategy. So that would be like a Facebook Live. It might just be a Facebook post. It could be an Insta post. It could be like Brian Farewell on my team did a really great one to like his whole realtor database, right? On Appraisal Gap. Thank you, Scott Nicholson, for all his great ideas all the time. So a one-to-many at least once a week. And then the second part to the challenge is going to be getting their realtors involved in a CMA a day. Okay, getting their realtors involved in a CMA a day. So right before I hopped on this call, I was on a Zoom presentation. There was 11 realtors that showed up for it. And it was all about how to create $11 million in opportunities in 13 weeks. Okay, now I didn't just arbitrarily pick 13 weeks. It's from the Win by Noon CMA a day, right? Form. And I got them all the forms. Here it is. Okay, so I got them all, copies of the forms, have this great script around how to do CMAs, how to create them, some great ideas about them, how to go through it that I'm going to send them. Someone sent this to me, by the way, which is great. So I didn't even create it. I just borrowed it from whoever gave it to me. And then I went through with them exactly how they're going to fill this out. Right. And they're not going to send me their results. So Tammy, I want to talk to you about this because you said that, hey, this is my big issue. I've put myself in that problem space 4,000 times in my career where I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? And now I'm getting all this crap that I got to keep track of and like, how am I going to make time for it and this, that, and the other. Right. So what I do, and I made it really clear on the call, is that if you guys were all the realtors, I would say, hey, just so you know, this is a suggestion that I am more than happy to help with. This is not something that I'm going to hardcore hold you accountable to, because if you don't do it, I don't want you to avoid my phone calls, you guys. Like, that's what I said to all of them, right? Because in the past, I find that when I come off as a true coach, right? Or I come off as like, hey, this is what you're doing and you got to do it. And this is your homework and you got to turn it in. And they don't do it, that I actually got less engagement. I got less referrals. And so you have to treat it more of like, this is a suggestion and I would love to get together. Okay. Every 2 weeks through the 13-week time frame, we're going to do a webinar just like this, a Zoom call, where we go on and just check in. Where are you struggling with it? Who has a success story? Like, did you have a conversation with someone that you thought was great? Is there something that they asked you a question, an objection you got that you didn't know how to answer? Right. So that's how I'm going to be doing the CMA a day. And that's phase 2 is TCA. Okay. Every single day. 1 a week, has to be one to many. And then for them to execute the CMA a day with a group of agents, whether that's 10 agents or whether that's 143 like Tammy, however many doesn't matter to me, but just getting a mastermind group together where they can be the leader, but not like the actual teacher, if that makes sense.
Boom. So guys, this is so exciting, because not only are we doing the TCA a day for lead conversion and loan profitability, but now you're like TCA a week, which is a lead gen, a one-to-many message. And then you've got a partner strategy. So you can go one-to-one and one-to-many with agents and get them to do the equivalent of a TCA. Guys, if you're a loan officer, a total cost analysis is a high value sales activity. It requires you to have a high value conversation with someone, and it requires you to give them a high value deliverable. If you're a real estate agent and you want to get a lot of listings, a CMA a day is a high value conversation with the consumer, and it's a high value deliverable to get a listing. So, I mean, we're talking about like, guys, this could be career changing if you follow the path. Like, if you literally play this game, make this commitment, at a minimum, it's going to improve your profitability and your conversion and probably get you some new leads from referrals. And at a maximum, it can literally make your career in the mortgage business. Do you think I'm overstating that, Jeremy?
No. No.
This could be game changing. So anyways,
What do you mean? It is game changing. Who's the best 3-point shooter in the NBA?
Steph Curry.
Yeah, no questions. How many shots does he take every single day?
A lot.
Hundreds, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, right? So reps is really, really important, right? Like I am no different than anyone on this call whatsoever, but I literally force myself to do a TCA every single time. Different purchase price, new TCA. In contract, I already got a TCA, you get more TCA. Don't want a TCA, you're gonna get a TCA. Okay, so like they're going to get it no matter what. So the more and more reps that we do, the easier it is for us to become comfortable in our own process as well. And that will transfer calm confidence, right? Calm confidence, not arrogance, okay, but calm confidence is one of the secrets that doing total cost analysis creates. It helps create trust, right? It helps create thoughts like for other people. It creates a buying environment, not a selling environment. So if yes, it can absolutely change anyone's career from a conversion standpoint and impact standpoint. There's no reason to not be doing one every single time.
All right, guys. So Scott Nicholson, I think it's a perfect time. Given the time we have, dude, we can't give you more than 5 minutes. Hopefully you can knock out a 1-to-many strategy. So like give us some ideas in 5 minutes or one idea in 5 minutes. What's a good TCA 1-to-many idea?
You want me to show you or talk about it? Or both?
Show and tell.
Let's do it. I'll share
Scratch
the
and
screen.
sniff, baby.
Love it. So one, I appreciate being on this panel. Super pumped. I love everything Jeremy does. So we're obviously a huge fan. So let's do this. Let's do a 1-to-many. Here's something I made.
And by the way, that CMA, at some point, we got to at least know what that is, because
Okay,
that's kind of the realtor strategy. But no, do this one first.
Yeah,
Do
so here
one
it is. Just so full disclosure, I'm a loan officer. I'm by myself, just a one-man team. I do 40 million. That's one hat. My other hat is I founded Lender Launchpad. So I have 2 careers kind of going. So, but I love origination. So this is something I created for myself on this platform, and I sent this out. And so this is a time to move out of California. I created a graph that showed the biggest spread in history, right, between household equity and rates. And so I put this TCA together. I pushed it out into marketing, immediately hooked David Lee, which we're in docs right now. And then I created 4 of them actually off of this. And so you guys can
You
look
got
at
4
this.
deals. You got 4 deals off of this?
Yeah, no, I created 4 presentations. I have
Oh.
one that funded yesterday from this, one at docs, and another one in underwriting. So there's 3.
So 3 deals.
Yep.
And by the way, guys, that's the other thing is when you do a mortgage coach 1-to-many, how many leads did you get from it? Because if you did it and you liked it and it was cool and you didn't get any leads, it wasn't cool.
Doesn't
But if
work.
you did it and you got 3, 5, 10 new leads, that's really cool.
So I put this presentation together. It's time to move out of California. I actually put I'll show you the other ones, just from the one philosophy of the highest equity that we have in our houses and the lowest rates. It's time to pay off the equity line, which we're now in escrow with, or we funded yesterday on Patrick Gillum. So he recognized that now's the time to take the first, take the second, because in this presentation, because I'm turning my TCAs into bait, right? And then I'm going into water with them and fishing with them. And so when they saw this presentation, they realized, and what I was changing in the presentation is if equity starts to move eventually, and then it closes the door, even though let's say rates stay low or where they're at, if equity moves, it closes the door. And I showed just some linear timelines and when it would close. And eventually in January 23, it's done. It probably would close. It could close. I'm not saying that's where values are going to go or my belief, but it could. And so it got him off his seat and application, and we funded the loan. So I put those out. And so what's cool is you can go through and search all through the 1-to-many. So those are a couple that I've done.
So real quick,
Go ahead.
real quick, because we're doing a lot of these CMA days, and one of Deborah's big idea was hey, the realtor does the CMA a day or the CMA, and then you do a move up analysis. And I know, you're showing this in Lender Launchpad. So walk us through an example of that. And then
So-
what we're going to do, bro, is so you could go deeper on this. Anyone that wants to go deeper, tell them how to sign up for a demo of Lender Launchpad and a demo of how to do this in more detail.
Yep. So here's the CMA. So let's pivot into one to many. Let's incorporate the CMA today. Let's incorporate the win by noon, your poster. So let's tie all of that together. So I created this for particular reasons to handle all that. So now I have a CMA analysis, right? Which I'll show you in a second. So in this presentation, I'm going to show you I have a CMA. I have a TCA on a move up analysis with the numbers. I have a personal recorded YouTube that I narrated, setting up the page and what's going on here. I can also add one with the agent in there, or he or she wants to add a personal message. So when the consumer gets the CMA, it's personalized. I put a second TCA in there to handle low ball appraisals because we're interviewing for a job. The agent and I are interviewing for a job to get this listing. And I show them how I'm going to impact and influence from a lender's perspective on how we can work on this. Show them my reviews. There's my experience from experience.com. And then not only that, I show a demo listing demo site, which I've incorporated a third TCA and show them how we're going to market their property. So let's look at it. So I'll click on the link. This is what the consumer is going to get when we send out a CMA now.
So,
so-
I want to make sure I'm connected the dots. So you're really saying, hey, realtor, here's a really elegant way for you to deliver the CMA. Because right now what I'm seeing realtors do is they're, for the most part, doing a bomb video or some video. They're like kind of showing their screen, they're talking. I have heard of a few that are showing a TCA. You're saying, hey, realtor, this is how you should deliver the CMA. Is that what you're doing here?
Yes, correct. But not only that, I think in today's market is they'll have success, maybe some of the top agents, but some of the ones that are sitting at the lower or the high, just off the, the 90% to the 50s that I want to start working with, right? Those are the ones that don't have 20 years experience and massive market share, that this will give them a kind of an unfair advantage, because what I'm doing here is I'm tying in financial solutions here to help sell their property in today's market, right? So that's where they pair with me, that we can go together and you have to get these listings. So for an example, here is the full, and it's super easy to do. All I did was, Brad, send me one thing. Give me the CMA report, what we're doing. And so all I did was uploaded it. Here's the full report right there. I recorded a TCA video. So when they click on the TCA right there, they're going to see me doing a move up analysis. So this is great for what? HomeBot, right? This is great for your database. This is great for the just normal agent partners. So when I click on it, here's me going through the move up analysis. I show them, let's take you from here. I know what you bought. Let's go to here. What is that going to take? I know your net. I show all the details with that.
So dude, let's do this, because I want to make sure we get back on track. First of all, this is badass, dude. If someone wants to get kind of either a how to do this or a demo, what's the best way to contact you if they want to look at this in more detail?
Just send Scott at lenderlaunchpad.com.
Okay, so email Scott at Lender Launchpad. I mean, this is rad. I mean, I have been hearing more and more. Ryan Grant is using
Hi,
this.
Scott Nicholson, Mortgage Possible. So thanks for
So
opening up
here's
this page.
here's
and
the
there's a lot
custom
of
little
great
YouTube
information on
video I
this page
record
for
in
you
this,
on potentially
right? It's a
selling your
default
house.
one,
And
so I don't
the
have to
feature
keep
star there
recording
is
it.
gonna be that CMA
I'm
report.
framing what
A lot
I'm
of great
doing from a
information that the
lending
agents put
perspective
together
here.
as far as,
And I basically
about
tell
your-
them two things. I'm going to help them two ways. I'm going to help make sure that they get the best buyer, quantified and qualified in escrow on their property. Number two, if any financial issues come up, I'm going to help take care of those. And the number one issue today is values not hitting or a low ball appraisal. And I refer to the next TCA below me, and I show them this is a sample TCA, right? On how I structure if values don't hit. And so now what I do in this video, I encourage, right? So we're interviewing for this potential listing. I encourage these sellers, and now I'm talking to a direct consumer. I encourage them to ask the question to other listing agents that are sitting, waiting for their turn to be interviewed. What are they going to do if value does not hit on their property? And we've already given our answer. We've showed the exact numbers and how we're going to keep more people on escrow, not having and maximize the net off their property. So I've loaded this to where not only do I deliver the CMA, but I'm helping or I'm partnering with my potential agents to give them financial solutions to help to keep this transaction moving.
Got it.
That's
So
it.
stop sharing the screen, bro.
Yep.
Jeremy, any quick thoughts or questions on that?
Freaking insane. Like, how long does it take you to make that?
I can do it right now. It probably takes me, give me a PDF, just pop it in there and you're done.
What?
That was pretty rad, dude.
It's just, that's it?
Mhm.
Like when I saw it, I started getting anxiety, which I don't get often, but it's whenever I think something's gonna take me a long time to create, I'm like, so literally just a few minutes.
Yeah. So if Todd was my agent, right, we're going after a new listing. I go, Todd, I just need, give me the CMA report, do your work, right? And these are default TCAs in there. So I have default move up TCA. So I paste the TCA, upload the PDF. The YouTube already sits in there, the TCA. I mean, I can go custom, right, if you want, and go from there. So literally it takes me, maybe a minute, if that, to build the whole thing.
Tammy, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't even know what to say. I know I go to Scott's website when I need an idea for a one-to-many TCA, but wow, I almost want you to be one of my guest speakers on my thing so you can show them, you can kind of show them how I can help them do that, because that is exactly what I want to do. But I'm like, Jeremy, I look at that and I'm like, I don't even know where to begin.
It's pretty easy because it's all built, right? You can dump stuff, you can customize it, you can just send and go and just go. And the only thing that's really changing is just the CMA report. That's all it is. And the agent does that.
So
And if they want to put their own video, so go ahead, Walt.
tips, Walt, any questions or comments?
No, just, I've had Lender Launchpad for a while. I haven't really I implemented it a little bit with one philosophy, and I had a team member that was helping on that on a for sale by owner philosophy, and then the team member's gone, so we stopped that. But no, I mean, I think Lender Launchpad's a great product, and specifically when you're able to connect up the CMA along with the TCA and send that out. I think it's a major win-win. So
Deborah, what are your thoughts, questions, comments?
Well, what I like is you said, turn the TCA into bait and put them in the water. So what I thought is, and this could be the loan officer or the agent, a home that sells, like one that just sold in my neighborhood, there was 16 offers. That means 15 families lost a home that they wanted in my neighborhood. So if you use this as bait and you circle prospect and you go in that neighborhood and say, how would you like a crazy offer on your home? This home just had 16 offers in the first however many days or hours. That means there's 15 families that wanted a home right here in this neighborhood that submitted an offer that didn't find one.
Yep.
And go fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
put a
exactly
TCA
it.
and put a TCA on it. One
Right.
to many style. By the way, Deborah, that t-shirt is badass. Let's go Modern Mortgage Summit. Reminder to everybody, we have started selling tickets. We didn't tell anybody last week, but the website was up and we've already sold a bunch, but we did announce it today. So you can go to modernmortgagesummit.com. We think Jeremy Forcier is going to be one of the speakers this year. His photos on it.
He's on the shirt.
Yeah, but we haven't got his presentation yet, but we'll see how that goes.
Ouch, come on. That's not nice, Dave. Come
Listen,
I know, that was a
it's
little
all good.
personal.
I'm bulletproof, man. It's all good.
on.
So hey, Jeremy, we're in the last 10 minutes and I want to
Yeah.
make sure I hand it off to you as the head coach of this thing. One, are you willing to stay in the hunt? Like, you don't have to commit to every Tuesday, but do you think you can make some more Tuesdays through next month?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think we could get Peter to start coming? Like, it seems like he's in it to win it. Can we
Yeah,
get,
let's ask him.
let's see if we get Peter. We got two more people that have commented down below. Alfonso, I know your email, so I'll add you. A couple other people said I want in. Give me your emails and I'll add you. Jeremy, if you could check with your three guys that we had in it, if they're going to come to half of them, we'll keep them on the invite list. But if they're not going to come, then let's get them off. And
Yeah. And I'll take responsibility as a leader for that because honestly, I had no context to what this was. You asked me on for one and I thought it was just one and they were asking me, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it's going to be great. So I don't think that they knew that it was a weekly thing that they were going to be a part of as well.
And I'll own that. I mean, I kicked it, like Walt and Deborah came to me with this idea. I'm like, shit, yeah, let's do it. And then I've been winging it and figuring it out. So I'll actually own that, Jeremy, because I didn't give you clear direction and that trickled down to not clear leadership to everybody.
I
so-
accept that.
All right, dude. So you, Todd Bookspan, you haven't said a lot. So why don't you talk and then let's give it to Jeremy to close it out.
I'm just going to point out three things that I think everyone needs to be reminded of. I always come off of these things. I don't need to say anything because I just love hearing Jeremy ask questions and I love the transparency of all the participants. And I think there's just always these gems that Jeremy drops that we all need to pay attention to. He said, your results tell you where to spend your time, right? You heard all the people on here are recording their activities and tracking their results. You all need to do that because that's where you can figure out where am I going to focus my time. He said, do I say yes to things? And he said, ultimately, do I put them into a process that's repeatable, right? So that's Lender Launchpad. All the time I tell Scott I'm going to sign my team up for it, and I never do. So now I'm going to commit to doing it because I don't want to just say yes, like Jeremy's, people said yes and didn't actually do anything. And so hold me accountable, Mr. Nicholson. And I think the ultimate thing though is that Peter Torres, who is a not $100 million loan producer, did 31 TCAs in the last 4.2 weeks, and his lock rate's up 142%.
Yeah.
So if that's not enough to convince you to be focusing your time on figuring out what TCAs you can create, I don't know what there is I can tell you. The bottom line is success leaves clues, and that's the biggest clue of the day for me.
I like that clue. And that is truth. Jeremy, close
Yeah.
us out, brother. Oh,
So-
Deborah hasn't got to say much. Let's make sure Deborah gets to say something. And then you could close us out, Jeremy.
No, it would just be to echo what Todd said. And I would like to see the 2.0 version where we stretch ourselves a little bit more. So I would be curious on Peter's stats of how many leads was he getting? And did those leads increase? And what proactive activities did we use the TCA as bait to get more fish? So I want to see y'all stretch a little more out of your comfort zone and use this to its fullest power.
Love it.
Leads or power. Jeremy.
So closeout is simple. It's more of it's a question. And I always just want to go back to Walt and Tammy and anyone else, who wants to participate in the question is that what's the challenge? What's a question or frustration on how you can implement a strategy better that I can help you with today? Because at the end of the day, if I'm not helping or being impactful to you, for you, etc., then I'm not doing a good job of trying to help you guys throughout this process. So that would be my closes: question, frustration, challenge. You can even be frustrated with me, Walt. That's fine too.
Why would I be frustrated with you, man?
I know you gave me a referral yesterday. So Deborah, I did get a referral out of them. See?
Woo!
Yeah.
Was it a bad client? Was it the clients that Walt doesn't want?
No, it was a good client. Really good one.
Oh.
Yeah.
That I grew up with. So just happens to be buying down in San Diego, and it killed me to give that to Jeremy, but no. I know Jeremy will do a great job with them. So no. So, for me, I don't have a challenge per se. What I've done is I was afraid I was going to do something similar to Tammy, kind of blow it up and then be like, what do I do? So I've taken it a little bit slower. I purchased, 100 posters a while ago, and I've been just calling realtors, and the call is very simple. I mean, it's, do you want to add $11 million worth of listings in the next 90 days? And I've had nobody say no. I mean, everybody's like, well, yeah, tell me more. So I've got 10 people right now that I've sent out the poster to, and I started announcing yesterday that similar to you, Jeremy, we're going to have a mastermind call every other week, and I'm going to have guest speakers on there. And they got excited. And so, so it's for me, it's slow and steady wins the race. Making sure that I'm implementing and making sure that when I make a promise on this, that I can follow through, instead of getting, really overwhelmed, which I think is really easy to be able to do. Super easy to do. So.
Well, I think that the mind always has to be stronger than the emotion. And it's something that's easy to say, more difficult to execute constantly, but it's a reminder that I remind myself all the time. So rather than slow and steady, I would like you to tell yourself a different message, right? And it's rather than saying, hey, slow and steady will win the race, it's like, hey, a marathon is made up of 26 sprints. Okay, like I would rather you focus on sprinting, moving faster, backing off a little bit, right? And then sprint really fast and then back off a little bit if you feel like you're, hitting that O word, overwhelm. I said, I don't think that anything bad ever happens from going really, really hard all in on something. I think that the worst thing that can happen when we go hard all in on something is that we have to figure out a way to deal with the success that we get from it. And that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing rather than always thinking of how do we generate more, right? Okay, I did this now, so what's the next thing? So if we're always focused on growth and it's just a growth mindset rather than a goal mindset, I think it's easier to do things all the time. So I would rather you break your system a little bit, man. Like breaking a system is not a bad thing. Like I actually celebrate when we break our system here all the time. Drives my team nuts. But I like it. Like I like when a system gets broken. And when I say broken, that doesn't mean that a bridge caught on fire and it fell 100 feet down to the ravine. It means that like you hit a little speed bump or a board needs to be replaced. The way that we think about this stuff mentally is really important, I think, to our long-term success, especially when you're trying to grow. So go all in. Don't be afraid of disappointing someone because someone is always going to be disappointed. Like we typically have 4 different types of customers. Okay, they fall into these 4 buckets, and I'm happy to send you this little thing. Okay, that I teach on all the time, constantly. The first type of bucket I call is fun but hopeless. Okay, fun but hopeless. So those are leads, whether they're referred to us or Zillow or anything, right? Any type of lead, 25% of the people are going to be fun but hopeless. That means that they're very nice people, but they're never going to be able to afford the product or qualify for what they want, right? They're nice people, but they're just not going to be able to do what we want. That's going to be about a quarter of the people that we get on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Right now, we want to spend as little time, and this isn't a negative. Okay, I love these people, but we don't want to spend unnecessary time with those people once we've identified like what we can or cannot do with them, because they will take up a lot of your time. Right. The next segment is my least favorite. It's the I don't trust anyone segment of customer. Okay. Now, these type of people make up another 25% of the people that you talk to. They don't trust anyone and they're sure as hell not going to start with you. They're never satisfied and they complain a lot. Right. So those are people that you can identify really easily. It's harder with the nice people. Right. But those are people you can identify really, really easily that is probably like, not going to be a nice fit, etc. The third type of customer that we're always going to experience are good customers. Right? So they complain rarely. They like your product or service and the way that you present stuff, and they will refer you to people sometimes, right? If we ask. Okay, that's another segment of 25. Now, the final 25% is the ones that we should be spending literally 70%, 60 to 70% of our time on, and those are raving fans. Those are people that you can do no wrong. They want you to tell them what to do. They are super stoked. They will refer you to everyone at all times, and they just love our business. Right. So we have to make sure that we're putting the right time into the right segments. Sometimes rather than creating new segments that are unknown, just growing the segments that are known, I think is super, super powerful. So find your raving fan squad. We all have them, like in our businesses, and pour more time into those people. I think that you'll see your business lift dramatically in a very short period of time. Cool.
Do we have time for one more question or should we wrap it up, guys?
No,
or one
man, we
more?
didn't get to Tammy.
Okay, Tammy.
Yeah.
Challenge. I just want to make sure I respect your time, Jeremy.
Respect.
I did what you guys are, I'm doing what you guys are talking about, the mastermind group, the whole, we are 4 weeks into this now. I've got guest speakers, like no joke. I was able to tap into my coaching group and they were able to pull in some big heavy hitters as far as real estate agent goes. I'm not getting any business from it. And at the end of the day, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I love meeting all these people,
Yep.
but kind of show me the money too. I shouldn't probably say this on Facebook Live. So, but I mean,
No,
that's,
it's okay. You are a businesswoman. Listen,
But
and you
that's
want
how I
to change
feel,
people's
like-
lives.
it's like, come on, when do I expect? I mean, Jeremy, I've talked a little bit about the tomato versus the apple tree. So
Yep.
I'm looking for some tomatoes and I'm ready to cultivate my apples. So I'm 4 weeks into this and that's my frustration.
Cool. So you said you have 143 people, right? So number one is that you shouldn't have an expectation on
Right.
what you're going to get, but you should have an expectation on what you're going to ask for and when.
Okay.
So like if you put the pressure back on yourself of like, okay, so there's 143 people in here. Number one, is that too big of a group? Right? Like I would be asking myself like to follow up on a consistent basis, right? So what I would do is look at that group and go, hey, I'm going to pick 25 of these people that I'm going to follow up with over the next 10 days, right? Because then basically that's 2 calls a day, right? Like 2.5
Yep.
calls, something like that, right? And then I think that you getting on the phone with them and saying, hey, how is it going? I wanted to connect with you personally, right? Like on what's going on. How is it going and how can we work together to do more business? How is it going? How can we work together to do more business?
So simple.
Yeah, you just got to ask. Like, I think that asking is such a lost art. Like we just think that we give value, and then we'll get. I believe in that we give value no matter what, but you got to ask all the time. Like if I want steak for dinner, I better tell my wife that because otherwise she's going to make curry chicken. Okay. So like I need to ask, right? Otherwise I won't ever get what I want, or I'm just not clear. They're not clear as to like what you want. Like, are you just trying to be in the friend zone or are you trying to, do some business and build a relationship? So I would say just pick 20, 25 people from that group. And that's going to be your focus for the next 2 weeks and ask, how can we work together? Right? Do you have anyone that I could work with on you? Do you have any new listings coming up? Right? With your new
Love it.
listings, can I make a total cost analysis for your sellers and you can send that to them as part of your listing presentation? Like little things like that, just asking, which is the crux of my business. I think I ask more than everyone. Like I'm just asking all the time, getting off the phone, doing the check-in call, see how the weekend was, whatever it may be. I won't end that call with like, hey, do you have anyone that I should be talking to, right? This week. Hey, do you have any listings that are going sideways right now in escrow? Hey, are you working with buyers right now that haven't gotten to contract for the last 3 offers? Like if you give people specific things to focus on, they'll come up with people in their mind and it's easier for them to give to you.
That is huge. Thank you. I love it. I made it a point to ask for cell phone numbers and email address. You could not get into the group without giving me your cell phone number or email address. And now you just told me what to do with them. So thank you.
Yeah.
Call them.
And be sure to use your text, call and text.
Yeah.
If you don't have a mobile number, you don't have a prospect. And if you don't have a mobile relationship with someone, you don't have even the beginnings of a client relationship. And then if you haven't done a TCA for them, you haven't distinguished yourself as someone that's any more valuable than every other loan officer out there. A lot of loan officers can do transactions, quote rates, do pre-approvals, keep their promises. Not every loan officer can create urgency, can get someone off the fence, can deliver the value of a mortgage coach. So Tammy, you're an inspiration. By the way, the interview I did with Tammy yesterday was rad. Highly recommend you guys watch it. To her point, she's at this point where it's not, I think you'd closed 1 loan or you had 1 loan open. So she went from 0 to 140 realtors in this permission-based relationship now where she's got her emails, she's got their mobiles, they're in a Facebook group, she's doing speakers. But I loved your question. That's all great. That's busyness. It's the
Right.
beginning.
Fun.
It's the beginning of business. But to Jeremy's point, get to 25, drive business, and keep us updated. And I hope you'll be
Mhm.
back next week for this TCA Day Challenge. Jeremy, anything else you want to ask or say before we wrap it?
No, you guys are all great. Like just come with questions, come with challenges. I'm telling you, it's the name of the game. Ask for help. That's what we're here for. I'm gonna get some more people involved in this now that I understand exactly what it is. And I'm so excited to be a part of it, that it is recurring like forever, basically moving forward, which is awesome.
Well, no, I mean, it's through September and then we'll see where the ball lies. And I'm committed, guys, whether it's myself or Todd, we will be here every Tuesday at 11 through the month of September. We'll see how much value we feel like we're giving and you're getting. We need to have more players and coaches. So let's all of us coaches try to bring one player next week. And then we'll have more players and coaches. And for you guys watching, think of this as a mortgage coach reality TV show where you get to see coaches and loan officers interacting, getting better. And hopefully if you're watching this, you're getting value. Put your questions below. If you want to be a player that's part of this little mortgage coach reality show, private message me or email me at Dave@mortgagecoach. Thank you,
Awesome.
everybody.
If I
Thanks,
just
guys.
want to, if I
Yeah.
can just give
One
one
more.
quick thing, I'm sorry, real
Go for it.
quick. You guys, and I want to talk to the people who are watching. I know how much coaching is. I pay for it. And we've got some of the best coaches on this call. And I just got like diamonds handed to me. And you really should be taking advantage of this. So if you're not, fine, I'll take all the coaching for myself. But there's a lot of experience out here on this call. And this stuff costs a lot of money. And these people are giving their time. So you should definitely take advantage of it.
Thank you,
Love
Tammy.
it.
Hey, I do want to do one little closing thing because power of her handwritten note. So I was at Renee Rodriguez's Amplify event, and I literally, so I keep a journal page every day. Sometimes I fill up one page, sometimes I fill up 4 pages. As we were doing this call, I flipped the page and I had a note. Guess who this note's from, guys? It's Deborah Bird. So Deborah, first of all, like that was really cool. So I guess she somehow saw my thing and she flipped it a few pages forward. She wrote me like a really nice personal note. So Deborah Bird, thank you. That was, I'm not going to read it out loud because I'd blush, but she said some really nice things to me that mean a lot. Power of a written note matters, makes a big difference for people. Thank you. Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
Take care,
Awesome.
everybody.
Good seeing y'all.
Late.
Crush.